They say love happens when you least expect it, but no one ever told her it could happen at 70. Margaret had spent years living in silence after her husband's death. The house felt like a museum of memories, his chair still by the window, his mug still on the counter. Every morning, she'd whisper a quiet, "Good morning," to a photograph and pretend she wasn't still waiting for an answer. Then one windy afternoon changed everything. She was leaving the grocery store when her bag tore, sending apples rolling down the street. Before she could bend to pick them up, a man's warm voice said, "Let me help you with those." His name was Thomas, a 72-year-old retired carpenter with a kind smile and steady hands. Something about him felt calm, familiar, safe. He handed her the last apple and joked, "Looks like we both needed a little fresh air today." That was how their story began. They started meeting at the park, feeding birds, sharing stories, and laughing about how people think love belongs to the young. Margaret hadn't laughed like that in years. Thomas had lost his wife too, and somehow, in their shared loneliness, they found warmth again. He'd tell her about the house he built by hand when he was young, and she'd tell him about her garden that never seemed to grow right. They discovered a strange peace in knowing they didn't have to start over. They just had to start again. Her children didn't understand. "Mom, you're 70, they said. You should be resting, not dating." But how could she explain that love isn't about age, it's about connection? One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon, Thomas took her hand and said softly, "You make me feel like I'm living again." She smiled through tears and whispered, "Maybe we were never meant to stop." A few months later, Thomas surprised her. He rebuilt an old wooden bench at the park and carved 2 names into it, his and hers. "For every morning we still get to share," he said. That simple gesture touched her more deeply than any diamond could. Love didn't have to be grand, it just had to be real. On their wedding day, Margaret wore a light blue dress, her silver hair glowing under the sun. Thomas waited at the end of a small garden aisle, his eyes soft with tears. As she walked toward him, the guests fell silent, because what they saw wasn't 2 old people getting married, but 2 souls who had finally found home again. And as they danced slowly under fairy lights that evening, Thomas whispered, "I guess love never retires. It just waits until we're ready to see it again." She laughed, resting her head on his shoulder, and said, "Then I'm glad we were both late." Would you believe love could still find you at 70? Tell me in the comments what you think. Can love truly begin again no matter the age? This is True Hearts Unfold, where true love lives. Like and subscribe for more true love stories.